So we are finally at the very last monthly drama update video of the year. I know I look different today. I have a new haircut because I came back from Asia. I was maybe actually gonna dye it red, but maybe that's like for my next Asia trip. I ended up just being late to the appointment because we were doing other stuff, so I just didn't end up going through with it. But I do want to try something like that for once in my life. So next time I go to Asia, I will be dyeing my hair. I think red, or like a brownish red, But like in terms of K dramas and C dramas, like there really isn't much out, and I ended up dropping a lot. So first, I'm gonna talk about my drops. If you've been watching my monthly update videos, you know I've been watching Our Golden Days, but I finally dropped it. What happened though was an episode wouldn't load while I was at work. So that's how I ended up like 10 episodes behind. And now that I'm 10 episodes behind, I'm like, okay, I don't care enough to catch up to it. But I still keep checking in on it and like skimming through like what's going on. The main leads, I think we're at episode 30 and they still haven't kissed. So I'm kind of like, this is kind of like, eh. But every other couple, I think one couple got together, which is the couple that I actually care for the least. But every other couple is like really not yet together. But I'm going to like check it out for those couples eventually. So I dropped that. I also dropped Typhoon Family. And for me, I think I dropped it around episode 6. And it was just really frustrating that episode, I think, because that was when the side guy that's working with them was just being an absolute jerk. And I was like, this drama's already really hard to watch because they haven't been like succeeding, on top of the fact that you've got like the most pathetic male character taking up screen time. Like I was really thoroughly annoyed with him, and like I get it. Like you encounter men like that in the workforce, but it was just not fun to watch. So with that on top of everything else that was going on with the drama, I was like, okay, this is like my final straw. I can't take this anymore. So I dropped it. And then lastly, I dropped a BL, and that's going to be The Wicked Game. And I dropped this just because I think I was on episode 5 and I just couldn't move forward from it. Like I skimmed through the episode a little bit and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not very interested. But this month I actually do have a lot of BLs that I'm interested in, but we'll actually have to see how they end up. But first, we're going to start with K-dramas per usual. Okay, so we're first going to start up with the drama that I loved the most and now disappointed me the most. So that is going to be Last Summer, and I'm actually on episode 10 of 12, and I currently have this rated an 8 out of 10, which is higher than a lot of people would have it. We went through some plot holes, I don't know, even know, annoying plot lines that people fell off of it. And so I will go ahead and spoil that. But at some point, so basically the entire premise is that these two are childhood friends that are in love with each other, but due to some reason, which I think is a pretty valid reason in my opinion, they end up kind of estranged. And then he comes back into her life and he's determined and be like, hey, we're going to get back together because I love you, you love me, what's up. So the entire drama is basically them being in love, but not being together and fighting about like being together basically. And so at some point, she ends up dating a lawyer that got involved in one of their arguments over like ownership of the house. So this lawyer character is such a random character, and he knows that there's a lot of history between these two. And the fact that he just decides to get involved, he is like the strangest character, and I'm the most unsympathetic second lead I've seen in a hot second. Like, what makes you interested in her during this entire situation, especially when you know that she is in love with someone else? It's the most random plotline. But I was like, okay, when they first started dating, I was a defender. I was like, okay, if he's going to serve a purpose, and the purpose is going to be to ignite some jealousy and get these two a move on, because obviously there's one plotline and nothing is changing. Like, the entire plot is them not getting together, and at this point in the show, we are at episode 10. The fact that they still aren't seeming to progress any forward, and they still aren't together, or like they haven't like kissed and then actually, did they kiss? But either way, the fact that nothing is progressing, and I mean ultimately they're gonna end up together unless they don't, which would be also very strange that I would have watched this drama of all things. It's just so annoying because I thought this was a really good plotline. I personally love a situation in which I don't fault either character for the decisions they made. And to me, this plot feels very situational. Like, this is like what happened and this is how they responded. And there's nothing that could be controlled or changed by like the way they behave, because I understand why both people made the decisions they did. And I don't necessarily fault them. And then this story went to shambles. Like, there's also a twin brother plotline, and I feel like that's really gone like over the head and like overlooked. Like, I don't even know what the twin brother has to do with like honestly any of this. And there are areas that they should have developed instead of focusing on this random lawyer plotline. I'm just so upset because I was in love with this drama. Like, with the way it was going from the beginning, I was gonna make this my third best drama of the year, and then it all fell apart, and I was just like, so much expectations and joy that it brought me, all to just let me down like that. Oh, this drama infuriates me, but it's not. I'm gonna personally say it's not a terrible drama. I think it just moves too slow, and I have a high tolerance for female leads that are acting out due to pain. I think I say that over and over, so I have a tolerance for that. That's kind of how she is. A lot of people find her really, really annoying. A lot of people find him really annoying. But, at the end of the day, in two people's relationship, I think there's plenty of annoying things that go on and happen. And so that is that. But I will be finishing this drama with a very, very sad heart because it took this long for anything to happen. And honestly, at this point in the story, I feel like nothing has changed nor developed for them to actually get together. And that's a shame because I think there's so much potential here. Chemistry and acting were so on point, and then everything just fell apart with the way they took the plot. So that is that. And next up is the highly, highly anticipated Dear X, and I'm currently at episode 10 of 12, and I have this rated a 7. As this show continues, I get further and further away from Ajin. So I think Baekajin, she's supposed to be a very nuanced character, and I would agree she is. And I just think the morally gray part of her is starting to just turn to evil for me. Ultimately, all of this stemmed from Ajin's desire to be loved and never having properly received that love, and then opening her heart and getting hurt over and over. So she's done a lot of crazy things to protect herself, but people do what they will. And for me, I think her breaking up with Inkang, that entire sequence just didn't make sense to me. It just seemed she was acting very emotional. And as some people would explain, it's because the grandma passed and that was someone that she actually finally found herself wanting to open up to. And then ultimately her dying suddenly like that after she like felt this chance of like happiness obviously just crumbled before her eyes. So part of her was like acting out like that. But I also didn't see the purpose of her actually just breaking up with Inkang at that time, because if she had thought about this a little bit more work wise, I just don't think her reputation would recover from breaking up with Inkang after his grandma passed away. And I just didn't see the purpose in her being that cruel to him, especially because she had known that Ingang was depressed. I honestly see that she does have responsibility in him ultimately committing suicide, because he was at his lowest point and she broke up with him. I feel like knowing that he was as unstable as he was, I think she could have guessed that he was going to ultimately make that decision. And then as we continue, we've introduced this other, I think he's a psychopath and she's a sociopath. Whatever it is, we have this new character that she is now married to. And honestly, through all this, I'm kind of wondering what Kim Young-dae is doing. Like, as you can see, he is in this poster and he is like a really big character. I thought they were originally going to have a romance plotline, because isn't the synopsis that Pekka Jin goes through all this and Junso is just like on her throughout her side? So I thought Junso was going to be more romantically involved with her, but at this point I'm kind of confused what's going on, because it seems like he stays by her because of guilt, and I'm not seeing like the love aspect. And we're on episode 10 of 12, and all of a sudden he's like letting go of her, even though throughout everything she had done throughout the entire years he was okay with, but all of a sudden now that she's married he's like letting go of her. I don't know, is marriage really the final straw for Junso? Was really interesting for me. I was kind of like, oh, I don't really know. And then lastly, we ended on episode 10 with this psycho schoolgirl coming back. I thought she was really random. Like, why did she come back, and why did Baekka Jin allow her in the house? And then she just suddenly went crazy and tried to kill her. I was like, I don't really know what I'm watching anymore. So for me, I really, really love the complexity of the characters, but ultimately, I'm just left feeling like, why am I watching this? Like, I'm not sure of the message anymore, and for me, it's becoming less enjoyable over and over. For me, originally, I walked into this thinking that Pekka Jin is going to do all these crazy things, and Junso is going to be by her side and lead her back to the good side. Obviously, that's a very simplistic, naive, hopeful tone of the drama instead of the tone it is right now, but that is personally what I wanted. But yeah, at this point, it's just getting crazier and crazier, and I'm not really big into that kind of stuff. So I think depending on how the last two episodes go, my rating might drop a little lower. But I will say that this was a really good quality drama, and I really want to applaud Kim Yoo Jung's acting. I think it is the best acting work I've seen in the entire year. She killed it in this role. I didn't really love her in My Demon last year, but I think this kind of role really suited her well. Not that I think the actress is a psychopath or anything. I think she just really worked hard on this role and she portrayed this character really well, especially because it's such a different character from like a normal, ordinary person, you know? Okay, and already we're at the last K drama that I'm watching, and that's gonna be Dynamite Kiss. I currently am on episode 6 out of the 14, which is an interesting number, and I have this rated an 8 out of 10. And so I actually know everyone's really enjoying this, but for me personally, at the end of the day, the marriage plot is not my favorite thing because ultimately we the viewers know that she is single and she is lying about her marital status because she wants this job. But honestly, I think in a way we're supposed to be rooting for them to get together, but the fact that he knows she's a married woman and we know he's in love with her and he's acting the way he is, it just kind of gives me the ick a little bit. I think they have cute chemistry. Chung Ki-young is a funny character. Anna Jin is so adorable. I like them together. They're cute. It's just this foundation for the plot line I'm just not really a big fan of. I wish that he had more restraint. Like, obviously now he found out that her husband is cheating on her, and so I feel like that's supposed to justify him being able to like act upon his feelings because oh she's in like a loveless marriage anyways. But yeah, for now I'm going to pray that the reveal happens soon because it looks like in the next episode they're gonna kiss and he still thinks she's married, and so all of this just feels very, very wrong. The first one is going to be Thundercloud Rainstorm, and I'm currently on episode 2 of 8, and I have this rated as 7 out of 10. And I am watching this solely for Yoon Ji-sung. I think I've mentioned, but I'm a huge 101 fan, and honestly, that's what makes part of this like the reason I'm watching it is like to watch Yoon Ji-sung because he's like someone of my childhood because 101 was like when I was 14 years old. So it's been like almost a decade now since I was a huge 101 fan. And so, I mean, I support the members here and there. And so I ended up watching this for Chisung, and I didn't know it was going to air actually, which is why I'm watching so many right now. But anyways, this feels very Wattpad trashy-esque. To be honest, I don't think the acting is the best, and the plotline is also kind of goofy. I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't feel very developed. I think that's one thing. I think it's just kind of put together and it's going and it's not terrible, but it's not like the best either. And that's kind of just all I have to say about it. Okay, next up is my current obsession actually, and that is To My Shore. And I'm currently on episode 4 of 15, and I currently have this rated an 8 out of 10. And honestly, I think this will eventually be coming up. I tried watching episode 1 several times and I was so bored. I didn't really know what was going on and I didn't really care. And then as I kept watching episode 2, 3, 4, and then eventually, no, I think we're only at 4. So as I got to episode 4, I was like, oh, I kind of see the plot line. I see where this is going and I kind of like it. And so I ended up reading the novel, which is literally what I was doing moments to filming this video because as I was laying in bed because I didn't have to go to work, I was like, okay, let me just like read this novel. I really like this novel. I love the direction the plot moves in. I think the entire drama for me is gonna be made by Yo Shu Lang. I just love his character. He is what I think of like a nuanced character. He's both like a hopeless romantic in love, but he's also cold and can be very like level-headed. Obviously, it's just a little bit of a facade, but he's really good at keeping up the facade. Yeah, he can be gentle, but also very firm. He is like the best character I have seen in a hot minute, and he's the entire reason I love this drama because just the way the plot unravels, like he allows himself to be vulnerable but at the same time, once he like figures out the truth, he is like firm about it. And yeah, honestly, I think these two are really cute, have a lot of chemistry. If you know, I am a big fan of manipulation plots, and that's exactly what this is. Manipulation lying plots. So that's exactly what this is. I love the angst that when they find out the truth, and I'm eating this up. I love this. The only thing is, I really need the live adaptation to hold up to the novel. So if it does, I'm going to actually really, really love this show. It's going to be like up there, like for my top BLs ever. But also, I want to admit that this is very Wattpad-esque kind of story. It's a little bit insane. There's toxic characters. One thing that I didn't like though is there is a non-consensual scene, and I'm never a fan of that. I don't see what the point of it is. You literally could take that out and still have like the entire series and it would be fine. But for some reason, there's always this plot line for some reason. And it's really stupid. So take that in mind. I will just pretend it didn't happen, even though it did, which infuriates me. This could be a little higher if not, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Otherwise, I do really enjoy this. This one's probably my favorite BL airing right now. And actually, my favorite BL is actually still Head to Head. I've mentioned this already several times. I'm now on episode 5 of 12, and I have this rated an 8.5. I still love this. This is probably going to make its way up my list like really high, like either like top 3 BLs I've seen this year. And that's just because everything is just feel good, fluffy, there's consent, there's nothing toxic, manipulative going on. It's just cute and sweet, and I love it. Their chemistry is adorable. I mean, I've been a fan of these two since Oh My Boo, My Only Boo, whatever that show is called, but I think that was a really good BL that I've seen. So I just love seeing them in this, and I love a good enemies to lovers, and they're developing well. It honestly, I just don't have much to say besides cute, short, fun, and that's honestly all it needs to be. Like, it's not the most revolutionary thing out there, but it's doing what it does well, and that makes me happy. And so another one I'm watching is going to be At 25 O'Clock in Alaska Season 2. I am on episode 9 of 10, and I rate this a 7 out of 10. So I'm almost done with this, and honestly, I actually don't have much to say about this except it's pretty relaxing watch. There's nothing also too intense going on. I think they're such an adorable couple together. They're both like shy, quiet, introverted. The overarching theme is interesting enough, nothing super revolutionary. It's also pretty short, I believe, in terms of format, so there's not like a lot of time for development. I did watch season 1, and I honestly can't remember what I thought about it or really what happened, but honestly, I feel like they do stand alone decently well because I don't really think about season 1 that much when watching this. And honestly, this is just like, I feel like a real life couple going through their struggles, and, you know, they have their cute moments where they find warmth in each other, and then they also have moments where they get upset and emotional, and yeah, you just kind of see a little bit into their perspective and their emotions, and I do enjoy seeing into characters like that, and I think it's pretty well done. I'm just not terribly attached, but it's pretty good. Okay, and the last BL I'm watching is School Trip. I joined a group I'm not close to, and I'm on episode 6 out of 10, and I have this rated a 7.5 out of 10. And this is literally the most goofy title. I feel like part of me adores this simply for the goofiness of all of it. Obviously, the title is really goofy. That is exactly the plot line. This one unpopular kid ends up joining the popular kids who are like F4 basically. And obviously, one of them has a crush on him, and that's kind of just exploring their relationship. And honestly, I just love the male lead. He's just so adorable, and the guy pursuing him is also really adorable. They're both really awkward. I love that the popular guy is so awkward about his emotions, and the unpopular guy that is being pursued is kind of naive about the entire thing and is honestly like keeping his calm, you know, like he's actually pretty calm about this entire situation, whereas the popular guy is actually like freaking out because obviously he's the one with the crush. And it's just really fun and cute. Nothing is super insane about this drama either. I think a lot of times with BLs, nothing is really revolutionary, but that's the main reason why I enjoy them. They're short, they're sweet, they're cute. That's honestly all I can ask for when I consume any piece of media. And so yeah, it's honestly kind of fun watching these two guys who kind of fumbling around in this relationship thing, eventually get together and fall in love. Yeah, it's probably not going to be like the most memorable thing in my head ever, but I enjoy watching these episodes, and that is all that matters. So we finally hit dramas I've completed, and the first one is Spirit Fingers, and I ended up rating this an 8.5 out of 10. Spirit Fingers came out of nowhere. It was not a drama that I was anticipating. It is not a drama that I thought I would have liked because it is very anime-esque. The characters act very over dramatic. In the end of the day, the characters are so cute and adorable. I think part of it is I have a lot of affection for our female lead who is self-conscious, kind of considered like the loser, and as she develops over the show and kind of gains that confidence, and she doesn't change her looks, she doesn't like change herself, it's just this confidence she finds within herself and who she is, and I absolutely love that message. It is really hard to get a drama that like sticks to that. And then you have our male lead who is there for her. He's kind, goofy. I think one of my commenters, if I find the comment, I'll put it on screen, said that he was a mix of Twinkling Watermelon's Hyunwoo character, I don't remember his name at the moment, and a mix of Ryu Sanjae, and I totally see it. He's got that extroverted goofiness with that loser side paired to him. And yeah, he is absolutely adorable as he pines for our female lead and as they fall in love for the first time. They're the cutest thing. And honestly, every other side plot in this story is actually well done, which is also hard to come by. The messages that it has and how they lead to the development of each character, I think is really well done. I love her relationship with her younger brother and her older brother and how that ends up playing out in the story. Overall, Spirit Fingers was literally such a good watch for like I was really surprised. I was very very surprised, and yeah. And the last Korean drama I finished in the month of November is Would You Marry Me? And I rate this a 5 out of 10. And this is just really funny to me because I didn't love her last rom-com Love Next Door because the male lead's character infuriated me, and now it's the opposite. I love Choi Woo-shik character. He's absolutely adorable, sweetheart, but her character, Yu Meri, actually irritated the heck out of me. I'm gonna say, like, the entire ex-boyfriend plotline ruined this show for me. It's completely stupid. That's all I have to say. It's literally just that one plotline. How was he even a relevant character is my biggest annoyance. I feel like this entire second half felt like a makjang. I honestly didn't really love their chemistry either. There's nothing very unique or original about it, nothing super endearing in my opinion, and this is one of the worst things I've seen this year. The ex-boyfriend thing was actually really, really infuriating because why is your ex-boyfriend in the picture? Why are you letting him walk all over you? Why are you giving him this much power? Why is he still relevant? Like, I literally don't care. Yeah, genuinely, you gave one of the most hateable characters the most screen time, so this drama was a no for me. It's been a no for me for a while because I didn't think the marriage plotline was like as good as it could be. I would have liked a cohabitation plot a little bit better than a marriage plotline, like a fake marriage plotline, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, and real quick, I have two throwbacks for cdramas I completed. As I mentioned, I went to Asia and obviously I had a lot of time on the plane, so I watched two dramas basically during the time I went to Asia and came back. So first up is During the Love, and it was available on YouTube, which is very nice. And for me, I rated this a 9 out of 10. This is a drama that like honestly reminded me that like, oh yeah, I can enjoy dramas because this year has honestly been a little rough for me. I don't think there were a lot of dramas that I actually really thoroughly enjoyed besides maybe my top two. So it was really, really great to watch this because I was like, this is a solid quality drama. Like, I can see why this is talked about as much as it is. And then I will say this has a lot of reviews about the ending because some people are mixed and some people think that it's good, some people think it's bad. If I had known what the ending was, I would not have watched this drama, but I'm very glad I decided to pick this up without more thoughts in my head because overall watching the drama was really, really good. I personally don't think the ending is the worst. If you're gonna tell me about bad endings, I think 25-21 has a much worse ending in my opinion. So I don't mind the ending. It's not the best, but for me, the bigger issue with this drama that like made me subtract 1 point and 1 point only is because I did not believe in the chemistry between the actors. Like, I'm sorry. I feel like they both were very individually played their roles well, but then when they came together, like the chemistry between their actors rather than characters. Because I think their characters were really cute and I loved them, but between the actors, I was a little bit like, oh. But this was also very nice and refreshing to see a female assassin that is actually really powerful and even more powerful than the man because we usually don't get that. I loved the way the story flowed, the comedy like hit. So yeah, with With the ending in combination with the chemistry, I think that's kind of the only things that I would subtract to get it to a 9. Otherwise, this drama, plot-wise, development-wise, character-wise, everything absolutely perfect. Loved it. Just that very, very slight issue I have with it. So it wasn't perfect, but it was very, very close to perfect. And I was very happy to watch it because nothing has been scoring as high as a 9, clearly, in a long time. I don't even know if there's a drama that I rated a 9 this year. And the other drama that I decided to go back and watch is Love and Redemption, and I actually rated this one the perfect 10 out of 10. And I will just say, Yu Shi-feng, he is the reason that this drama got to where it got, and I just loved his entire personality. He is pining man at its finest. I am literally obsessed with their relationship. I think she's the cutest thing when, like, obviously she doesn't have her senses and she's just very dull and she's got this man pining after her. We love men pining, and it's just like the most romantic drama ever. Like when he's going through all of it because he refusing to give up his love even though he was raised to be like ruthless and not like have emotions, and like the way everything in this drama that he does is literally for love is absolutely crazy. And like this is like obviously the reason I watch dramas. I'm a huge romance girly. This is one of the most romantic shows I have ever seen, and they're the cutest thing. Also, when she finally eventually realizes her feelings for him and then she like full sends like her love for him, like it's so good. I know at times she is definitely the one that like wrongs him in the relationship, but he like forgives her, and like the plot development of this absolutely insane. Absolutely loved it. And the way he's just protecting her throughout all of it. Yusufeng. And I love how they are both really, really powerful, especially her, because we love a powerful female lead. And this had the perfect happy ending. It's had great development. It's had great characters. Everything about this drama is like, it deserves a 10 out of 10. I was binging this like crazy. So I actually couldn't finish this one. This one was like way too many episodes to actually have finished. So I came back, and like the day I got back, the way I kind of recovered from my jet lag was watching an egregious amount of Love and Redemption episodes, because this is like 59 episodes. And honestly, I need to do a skim through my favorite Chinese dramas, which is funny because I just posted a video of them, because this one honestly can really make its way to the top. This is easily the best C-drama I've seen this year, and this deserves so much praise. Yeah, it deserves everything. Like I'm shocked it took me this long to watch it. I'm glad that I still had such a gem out there in this universe to watch, because I've watched a lot of things at this point, so there are a few dramas that can get the 10 out of 10 from me now. Absolutely amazing, beautiful. If you have not seen this, I would highly recommend. This is like one of the best. And I think this is a shensha, and I usually don't love those, but I would say that this is probably the best shensha I've seen then, because this one was really, really good. I don't think there's even a shensha in my top 10 C-dramas, so if one was to be there, it would be this. Everything about this drama was wonderful. I had absolutely zero flaws, complaints about this, and I love it. And with that, that is my very last monthly drama update video for the year. Wow, it is crazy that I have made 11 of these videos very consistently this year, because this is probably the first year that I've been as consistent with content in the 4 years that I've been on YouTube, excluding the very first year where I was doing like a lot of stuff. In 2026, I am not going to have any more best of ratings anymore because I'm already done with all of them. I still think I have my dramas of the year video coming out, best C dramas, best K dramas, BLs. Like I've got a lot of that stuff coming out for the end of the year, which is also why I'm not doing a December monthly update video. And then in the new year, I've got some other kinds of content coming out, which is just kind of in addition to my regular drama videos. I'm actually going to continue doing the monthly drama update series because people seem to like it enough. I've gotten pretty good feedback on it. It is a very easy video for me to make, and it's honestly fun looking back. Not that I ever have. It would be fun looking back on the dramas that I have been watching, my thoughts about them during that time. And honestly, I think I just need practice talking about dramas and reviewing them, because sometimes I feel like I'm not analytical enough. And so that is definitely something that I'm always going to be working on as I do these videos. And thank you so much, especially if I wonder what month you joined. I'm really, really grateful for how large my channel has gotten because it was the last thing that I would have thought of that a K-drama video would blow up my channel. Like the very last thing I thought, because I would have thought that there wasn't a market for that. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I am excited to welcome the new year with you guys and to many more K-dramas, and hopefully next year will be better than last. And yeah, I think I'll have a separate video with talking about more like yearly stuff, more chatty type rather than drama type. So if you're interested, eventually check that out. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.